strong?
We hear you.
Oh, very good. Okay. I hear you very clear. I hear you very clear. Can you zoom in the camera a little bit so we can see everyone's face better? Is it possible to zoom in the camera a little bit better? Yeah, that's good. And raise the angle a little bit. Yeah, very good. Okay, we're all ready, right? Okay, so let me begin the class tonight. Where's my remote? Oh, here we go. Okay, so let me begin the class right now. And you can tell we are now moving to week number 10. And last week we had a cross-cultural exercise. And this week we will have a lecture week. And next week, week 11, we will have a special lecture from a faculty from Greece. So he will be giving the lecture live in the morning session on Tuesday. And he agreed to deliver the same lecture to you in session B from his laptop through WebEx. And last time we did that with faculty from Germany in Mexico City, I think worked out well. So we look forward to that lecture 11. And after week 12, we have the second cross-cultural exercise. And again, in session B, this will be led by Professor Morrison from TICE. And Professor Morrison has already prepared the assignments. And so now I want to give him 10 minutes to describe to you what you are expected to do for the cross-cultural exercise number 2, which will be 2 weeks from today. Jim, yours.
Fantastic, thank you. Hi. So, Angela, is it possible to put the assignment up on the screen? Maybe the DEN system. So the cross-cultural activity 2, we're going to try and post the assignments on your screens now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have the same number of groups. So it's going to be a group activity. We're going to have the same number of groups. 2 from China, 3 from Taiwan, 2 from California, and 2 from Asia. And you'll have different groups. I'll ask the TAs to create different groups. And each group is going to prepare a presentation. And the topic is going to be as follows. You're going to pick one product or a company from your country who is trying to break into or currently offers a product or a service in another country. So you want to pick a company or a product that is created in your country and offered in another country. So for example, one of the Chinese teams might pick a product from China that is currently moving into Korea or moving into America. And the goal of the project is to think about what cultural issues, how the cultural issues play.
Are you able to see on the screen now, Jim?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, so you can scroll down.
Okay.
Scroll down to the next page, second page, and here. Here, yeah, zoom in if possible. So this section, so basically page 2 describes what you want to do. Ah, good, okay, thank you. So first, at the top of page 2, Yeah, good, that's great, thank you. So first, you're going to select a company based in your country that is trying to or has expanded into another country. So the country assignment is given on the sheet. So for example, one team from China will pick a product that the Chinese company is expanding into America, for example. Then you're going to study the products. There we go, that's awesome. And think about the strategy that they're using and how it's different in the foreign market as opposed to the home market. You're going to consider third, you're going to consider the role that culture plays. And fourth, you're going to think about everything that you've been studying so far, which is what is the market position of the company, how are they trying to achieve success relative to their competitors, how does their strategy relate to the concepts we learned in class, and how should the competitors in the foreign market respond. So that's the topic of your 9-minute presentation, and then we'll give you 2 minutes to let you ask some questions and make some comments. So there's a one question for discussion, and the group that's presenting will lead that discussion and try and extract some extra insight or get some extra perspective from the class as a whole. Okay, so that's basically it. If you would scroll down to the next half of the page, just for the requirements. So a 9-minute presentation, and then a 2-minute discussion. And that's basically it. And we'll go through team by team. There'll be 9 teams. The TAs will create your teams shortly. And that's what we'll do. Are there any questions? As before, you will email all your information to TA and Lizette. Questions?
No question? Okay.
We'll also sign this shortly so you can see the details. And this will be conducted in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Excuse me, can you hear me?
We switch the camera. Okay.
Hello. One question.
And
I think
back
I
to
might have
my
a question.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we might have a question.
yeah, I have a question.
question from Taiwan?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, let's.
Anyone?
Yes.
No?
Okay.
From Taiwan, yes, I'm speaking.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
I do have a question. Sorry.
We'll move back to the class. Now,
Hey.
after this exercise week number 13, it's not here, is a week.
Hello. Sorry, we do have a question.
Say that again.
Hello, we do have a question.
Okay. Is there any question from Taiwan?
Yes. Do you hear me?
We cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me. Can you hear me now?
The voice is very low. Can you turn up the voice?
Let's try turn up the voice.
Again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, very clear. Go ahead.
Okay, good. I'm wondering, do you have any material we can have the student to study first, so they can get some example? It's very similar to in the business school. We have some example for innovations, and the material will help them to understand how they cover case, so they have a better idea of what to use as a reference.
Yes.
Right. So for this example, you're free to pick whatever company you want. And in terms of analyzing the company, you should use the material that we've been studying in the class. So the purpose of this is to integrate your own perspective of culture and what we saw from the last cross-cultural activity about other cultures, and integrate that with the material that we've studied thus far in the class. So the course material can be used. Now, if Professor Lu wishes, probably we could show, set some examples from last year. We did a very similar activity last year. We could possibly show those, but that would be up to Professor Lu and his team.
Well, we can certainly retrieve the video recording from last year, which has a similar theme, and then we can post that online. So students, if they are interested in looking at some example, you can certainly go back to look at what was presented last year. But that only should serve as the reference rather than limit your room to present your new ideas. Okay? Okay? Yes, questions? Yes. We have a question from USC. Microphone. In the international calendar, there's no such thing called scientific. Okay, Tim? Have you heard it? You heard it?
Yes,
Well,
I
I'm sure they can contribute a video, the Turkey, whatever, but they will not be able to be in the class.
Okay.
We'll deal with that later.
Yeah, let's think about how to integrate the USC videos into the class.
Okay.
So normally what we would say is still hand in your assignment and then we'll watch your video anyway, and we'll have our own discussion, I suppose.
Well, I think in no way this will impact on your participation of the assignment and your contribution to the video. And as for how we can include you in the live discussion, and I will talk to Professor Morrison and come with the plan. Okay?
That's good for me.
Okay. Okay. If there's nothing else, we'll move on. And I was saying that, oh, by the way, this assignment for cross-culture exercise number 2, and if you read the assignment, you will find out it is actually a very good topic to leverage or reference to your team project. Your team project focusing on electrical vehicle, it's a specific market, but the theme of that team project also try to have you bring out different kind of cultural diversity into different kind of marketing strategy of the product. So I'm sure you will find many similar places and you can leverage each other. And I also refer you to the cross-culture exercise from section 8. They have a different kind of exercise scenario. And they also focus more on talk about personal creativity and how this personal creativity translates into the innovation effectiveness. And those are very interesting material which are posted online, and then you should be able to review. Okay. Now let's move on to week 13. And the week 13 we schedule still for lecture discussion. And because this is a very special week, because this is a week where we have students from Germany and students from Mexico and a few students from Taiwan will be actually visiting USC. So we are thinking that this, and also that this is a 1 week before your final team project presentation, which is a very important one. And we are thinking now maybe we should design some special learning activity. And for those of you who are on campus together, maybe have some face-to-face interaction, some kind of exercise to help you to prepare for your team project presentation the week after. So we will let you know what will be the activity on that week. Okay? So that detail will be decided for week 13, and week 14 will be the final week. Okay? And that will be the time you will present your team project together with your teammates from section 8. Now, I also want to comment on some travel arrangement that I'm currently making, and I hope this will work out, but if it doesn't, then I will not be able to really be with you at different campuses. Remember, at the beginning of the semester, I promised you that I will be traveling around, so I'll get a chance to see everybody. And I delivered that promise as early in the semester to Beijing. And I had planned to visit South Korea and Taiwan earlier and didn't work out. So now I'm planning to do that during the week during the week 13. And the schedule is actually quite tough because the week on Monday, that week I have to, after we receive the students that visiting USC campus, I have to fly to Washington, D.C., the red-eye flight in the evening. And the second morning, I have to present how we use the IPODIA course to help the National Academy of Engineering to prepare the future engineer for different kind of competence. And then after that presentation, I will have to fly. And again, this is to be arranged. I will have to fly from Washington, D.C. directly to Seoul, because I would really like to spend time in Daejeon campus to really have face-to-face time with students from CAIS. So if everything works out well, and the Friday of that week, I think I will arrive in Incheon Airport like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I would take the bus. I know how to do it. I did that many times. I would take the bus to Daejeon, and I would just walk into a classroom. And after the class, another 2 hours, I would have to go back to the airport and fly to Taiwan. And then I will finish my lectures in the company. Then on that Friday next one, I will be on NTU's classroom. So during the final week, I will actually spend time in Taiwan and work with students from National Taiwan University face to face. And I really value this opportunity. I will try my best to make this trip work out. But there are many constraints I have to work out. So I just telling you this is my plan. So if everything works out well, I will spend a lecture in Taipei. I will spend a lecture in Taipei. And by that time, then I will fulfill my promise to have a chance to see everybody. Okay? And I will keep you updated on this. Okay. So this week, we are really talking about a very important transition, the big picture this week, because so far, from week number 1 to week number 8 or 10, we have studied the whole life cycle of technology innovation, and we talk about how to create a new market, and then more importantly, we talk about how the competition changed the way you deploy your innovation into the market. Now, all these things are based on the assumption that the industry and the market work on the way of the current paradigm. And I'm going to explain to you what is that paradigm. And that is based on mass production, automated mass production, and global outsourcing. And those things really become the playground for all the innovation theory you have studied so far. However, at this point, as we speak, there's something called the upcoming industrial revolution, which often people call Industrial 4.0. And this 4.0, if it happened, if it becomes successful, will completely change the playground for innovation. Therefore, many of the innovation theory you have studied in the class will have to be adjusted accordingly. Now, this is yet to come, but I think it's very important for you at this point, after you study the life cycle, to have some idea about what will be the next paradigm shift. What will be the likely landscape after the paradigm shift? And then you will find out at that time, many of the things we talk about, the innovation principle, has to be modified. Now, exactly how will that turn out, we don't know yet. But there's a lot of evidence to show that this paradigm shift is going to happen. And many people already believe that this is already happening. So I want to give you some idea about this transition. So specifically, I want to cover those few things. The first one is, remember we talked about in the current paradigm, we have 5 different kind of innovation models. It's continuous, breakthrough, and then we also introduced 2 actual ones. One is called disruptive, the other one is called platform. So I want to finish up this discussion with some more example about disruptive innovation, as well as platform innovation. And then I will give you a very quick introduction of the new paradigm. And the new paradigm refers to beyond the current paradigm. The current paradigm is called Industrial 3.0. The next paradigm is called 4.0. Now, here, I can only give you a very high-level overview. And next week, when you have the lecture by Professor from Patros in Greece, he will give you much more technical detail. And he will give you more detail about what will be the architecture for Industrial 4.0, how does the factory operates, what kind of product it makes. So my purpose is not to repeat those technical details, but rather give you an overview introduction of what is Industrial 4.0, okay? Then I will very quickly go through an argument to say that what you are in this course, the ICODIA course, actually is a very good example of how do you develop a new innovation to support this industrial revolution. And then finally, I will very quickly review what you can see how ICODIA can fulfill the need of the carrier engineer for the 4.0 revolution. Now, item 3, item 4 are not really just the commercial to promote our program, but I want to use this as an example to convince you that once the paradigm shifts, many things we do has to be different. You have to have a different kind of thinking in order to really address the challenges of the new paradigm. So these are the 4 things that I would like to share with you tonight, okay? So the next thing, okay, so this is a quick summary slide, and this summarizes all the strategies of the current paradigm, okay? So the strategy we talk about in class so far, we talk about there's something called red ocean strategy. There's something called blue ocean. It's basically saying the red ocean strategy is moving from upstream to downstream. In the downstream, it's more price competition. The market gets very crowded, and people just compete in a very, very irrational manner. The competition is very intense. That's what we call the red ocean, very bloody. And on the other extreme will be the early market, we call blue ocean. And just like you swim into a big blue ocean, and nobody's around you there, you have the whole platform to play, and that will give you a much better room to innovate. So the difference is in red ocean, you will try to compete directly with your customer to make with your competition to make them suffer. On the other hand, in blue ocean, you try to move away. You try to make sure your current competition becomes irrelevant. And we said the way to do that is open to create a new market. So you move to the new blue ocean market. Okay. So the current paradigm basically has 3 foundations. One is mass production. Remember we talked about that this mass production model has been the foundation of producing products which can be very competitive in terms of price. But mass production also has a problem because mass production has to be based on a lot of preconditions. The first one is all the products should be standardized. In other words, if you want to produce a large volume using special machine, you will naturally be limited to a few standard functions. The performance will be limited there, and all the parts, all the way down to the physical characteristic, will have to be the same. Because if they are the same parts, you can then purchase very specialized machine to make so many pieces of that same part. And then if you're smart enough, you can put this machine into a flow, into a line, become a production line, and then you run the production line, almost like running a paper copy. You just make so many copies there, and that will allow you to create a huge volume of the product. And if you are able to do that, you will find out your unit cost. So each product will be reduced. And that actually has been a very common strategy for companies to compete in the price market. And one of the things we talked about earlier is OEM. And you will find out this is the reason why OEM factories often are huge. They're big factories. It's very unusual to find a small OEM factory because the OEM factory, their position is to compete on the price, and mass production allow them to lower the price, and therefore they have to increase the quantity again and again in order to lower the price. Now this mass production has been a very good thing to do, and it actually contributes to our civilization, our economic development over the past century. Because when mass production started in the early 1900s, the whole economy, the whole society was undersupplied. When you have an undersupplied market, mass production comes because it really satisfies the needs and it gives people a very rational way to have market competition. Now, once we have the third revolution, we not only know how to do mass production, we know how to do automated mass production. Because the third industrial revolution brings us computer technology, information technology. So not only we have a lot of electronic products come out, we also know how to use computer to speed up and to manage the mass production. And this has increased the efficiency of mass production order management. So as a result, you can tell after the third revolution, we do automated mass production, and the price drops hugely across the globe. Now, in the last several decades, we also started to do automated mass production around the world. Why? Because information technology allowed us to have communication, have a networking around the world. So it becomes possible that you have a headquarters in one location, design office in the other location, and then you have your huge factory in the other location. So this really becomes the current model, the current way of doing the product. So as a result, you can tell we really have a huge capacity to produce product. As long as we wanted to compete in the price, we'll just keep producing more, keep producing more. Last time we also talk about this model. Again, it's good when the market is under supply. But because of its overproduction, because of its huge ability to producing, a lot of times in many markets, the market has become oversupplied. When the market becomes oversupplied with this, you will find that the competition becomes irrational. Irrational competition has been very major force now driving the industrial competition today. As a result, you end up with a lot of waste of resources, environmental pollution, product safety, and exhausting of resources. Many problems happen this. So this is really the background that actually leads people to think about maybe we should do something different. Maybe the way to do mass production, it was good before, but it's not good for the future. And that is really the background which we're going to talk about when we talk about the new paradigm, the 4.0. But before that, and this slide, I basically say, okay, assuming this is the current paradigm, that is mass production, automated mass production, globally automated mass production, these are the complete spectrum of innovation. This is what how you innovate, okay? We talk about this continuous, we talk about continuous, we talk about, okay, these continuous word, we have many examples. As a matter of fact, this course, many people has continuous innovation, okay? So you follow the S-curve. The continuous innovation is almost like you're participating in a car race and on a racetrack, which is like S-curve shape racetrack. So your job is to run faster than the other car, and then eventually, you will follow this S-curve. And we already learned that sooner or later the life cycle will end. So once in a while, people will have new technology come out. It will be completely different science base, but it will be targeting the same market. This is almost like you're still running the S-curve, but you're running on different S-track. You're running on different track, okay? And then we introduced something called disruptive innovation. And last time, I already explained to you the meaning of disruptive innovation. And this is something that we did not really spend a lot of detail during the previous weeks. The reason is disruptive innovation is actually based on a very important principle which we introduced you early on, called segment zero. Remember, segment zero describes that when the supply overshoots the demand. When the supply overshoots the demand, the latecomer, the follower, will always have advantage as technology moves there, right? So disruptive innovation means that when the winner, the incumbent, the leader, have already entered the mainstream market, they have already started to enjoy the return of the investment. Often, those incumbents will be very much focusing on the existing market with fixed functional requirement. That's where they have a huge market coming. However, there are always few customers who have special requirements, who have special needs, which require one or two additional functional requirements. It's not a complete different thing, so it's not a breakthrough, but it's not the same as the current standard functional requirement. So because the incumbents are so busy on satisfying the current requirement, those new requirements often are ignored. This gives the new people, the new innovators, good opportunity, and they will come in by first providing this new requirement, but because it's new, by definition, the performance will be low, so they will come into low market. But once the customer latches into this product, and the technology will start to grow, and this will follow the segment zero progression, and eventually will push the incumbent out. So this has been very successful, and there are many successful examples. And in the early on, many small innovators, if you are smart, you can seize this opportunity and to enter the market after the market already become mainstream market. But recently, because many of the market leaders have already realized this potential problems to them, because many of the market leaders are focusing looking at the front rather than the back, right? So many of the market leaders has already started to also pay attention to this. And therefore, while they are making money on the current market, they also try to experiment different products and with one or two different functions and to see how market responds. If market responds well, then they will push this product to become a different segment. So this now becomes a very powerful approach for both the incumbent as well as the newcomer. Again, the reason for this happening is the segment zero. The next thing we introduced, again, we didn't say too much at the beginning, but the last 2 weeks we started talking about something called platform innovation. Now, this innovation is often reserved for the big players, because the platform innovation basically saying you wanted to provide your service as a generic platform for other people, for third party to come over. They come to your platform because you can satisfy their current needs. But as they come into your platform, you can then help them to exchange value among themselves. And by doing so, you can collect their data. And then the data you collected from this platform can help you to create new business value so that you will be moving away from selling product and selling services. Rather, you become a vendor to provide a platform and then harvest from the data that your users generate on the platform. So this has recently become very popular because the internet, because the e-commerce, right? Because this, the precondition is you have to have a platform. The e-commerce is a good example. And another precondition is you have to have enough data, right? So you imagine how much data that the company like Amazon and like the social network company they generate. So they are uniquely positioned to harvest from platform innovation. It is very hard for the newcomer to do this. The newcomer can provide a platform and grow a few users, but it's very hard for the newcomer to have a significant platform and have a huge amount of data. Okay? This is also the reason that recently there's a lot of hot topic innovation, talk about platform, talk about big data, right? Big data innovation. And the big data innovation is related to platform innovation. The big data innovation, the condition is you have to have a big data, right? And it is not the idea you will then send people out to collect big data. Because no matter how many people you send out to collect data, you will not get big data. The so-called big data are data that automatically created as people conduct their business on your platform. So if you end up having to purposely go out to create data, to collect data, you are not able to compete on the platform. Okay? And later on, I'm going to give you an example of Amazon. How does Amazon actually leverage their current business, and then the data automatically, the customer actually voluntarily give them data, and they are smart enough to use this data to create another platform and repeat it again and again. Okay? So this is an interesting opportunity, but often reserved for the big player. And this is also happening mostly for the later part of the mainstream market. The reason is you have to have enough volume of users to do that, right? In the early market, the user is very small, you will not have data which is big enough. But if you have the condition, you have a platform, you can collect data automatically, you can do a lot of things with platform innovation. The last one, we also talked about very extensively earlier on, is called breakthrough innovation. This is really the ideal thing you should do, but this is hard. In other words, you completely break away into a complete new market, which is a complete different set of functional requirements. This is nice to say, but it's often hard to do. And that's why companies are able to do this often. They are not companies that are focusing on the existing market, rather they try to focusing on the lifestyle of the customer, their emerging lifestyles, so they can start to have a breakthrough before the market catch up. So those are the very ideal thing to do, but the difficulty is very high. So if you look at this, these are the 5 different ways you can innovate with the current paradigm, the mass production paradigm. Okay? So when you talk about continuous, discontinuous, and breakthrough, and the next I will give you example, disruptive and platform. Okay? So let me give you some disruptive examples. Now remember, disruptive innovation is you already have a product in the mainstream product, and you want to push some 1 or 2 features, which some customer want, not everybody wants. Okay? And you will test the market, see how the things respond. If you catch up, and that will evolve into a new category, will further expand your market, right? So the example I want to give it to you is smartphone. Now, smartphone, where we said smartphone is a product which already passed the dominant design, right? It's already in the mainstream market. In other words, when you look at a typical smartphone, it will have a very typical set of function requirements. All the smartphones will have this kind of requirement. But there are new features that a few customers would like one. For example, this year, okay? So every year, a market player in the smartphone will try different new features. This year, 2007, the major battleground in terms of disruptive is in this category of phone. Now, if you look at it, this is the Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, and Galaxy Note 8, right? Now, if you look at most of these functions are similar to all the previous generations, with one difference. The difference being the screen design. So starting from this year, you will see all the all these high-end smartphones, they start to experiment new function requirement called bezel-less design, bezel-less screen. So if you look at a Samsung phone, it doesn't have any edge on the side. It does have an edge on the top because you need to have a speaker. So you need a speaker, microphone, as well as camera, and you need to also have some edge in the bottom here because all the electronics that control the touch sensor on the screen is down here. But they are able to push this screen so big so that you really cannot see any of the edges on the side. Now, this thing started late last year, and this year become a major battleground. So a lot of phones come out, really try to follow this bezel-less design. Now, certainly, more than one company will try this, right? So you have, for example, a good example is iPhone X. See, this is they call each company will have a different kind of marketing name, but all of them really focusing on narrow the edge. Okay, so this is the iPhone. Now you already know the iPhone story. There's a tons of sensors out there, and other than that, notch here, and there's no bezel here. Okay, so you can tell this is one area where the incumbents start to disrupt. We try to see how the market responds. Now certainly Apple is not the only company to do that. It started with Samsung, Apple, because Samsung can start this because the Korean manufacturer like Samsung, LG, they are way leading many other people of the display technology. You probably know that whenever you buy an iPhone, like iPhone X, over $1,000 US, actually part of the money is made by Samsung because iPhone actually use the display technology by Samsung. So this is really the battleground, the display. Now, Apple is not the only one. So you will see this phone, I think last time I showed you the real one, this is called Essential. And tell their screens, even this phone is now one of the highest because screen to body ratio. Okay? So this is a very small, because the reason they can make it very small is because they don't need to put a lot of sensors here because they don't do face recognition, but they still have a camera put in here. So this is a pretty amazing phone. I already showed you last time, Essential phone. And then you can look at, this is a phone that is really the largest. You can see there's no edge at all. This is made by a Chinese company, Xiaomi. It's a Xiaomi Mi X2, okay? You can tell this phone, if you look at the size, it's actually not quite big, but this screen, actually is a 16-inch screen. It's a very major screen. So you can tell this has become a major battleground, and people try to use one focused function requirement and keep pushing this. But fundamentally, these are all the phones. So they are all having the major function requirement the same, because those phones have already passed the dominant design. But each year they will have different kind of focus. Now, you may be interested, okay, what will be the focus next year? 2018, okay? So 2017, we're focusing on narrow the edge. What will be the focus on 2018? Well, there's a lot of predictions, right? And believe it or not, it's also focusing on screen, because the screen now has been one of the areas which really had a lot of new development come out. So there's a lot of different models come out. I think the most interesting one will be something called foldable screen. And remember I told you earlier that now you can see their phone on screen on both sides. And Samsung now, because of OLED technology, they're able to make a screen which is completely flexible. So you can do foldable things. And particularly if you think about, if you're able to make the screen so narrow, and you can actually fold the screen in two halves, and then combine them into one and look like one screen, right? There is no edge, right? You will see there are many, many new attempts come out, and this will actually make it very similar to phone and this tablet I showed last time, right? The Yoga tablet. Remember last time I bought a bunch of tablets here, and I showed you this one. This one's very interesting because it has a screen and has another screen which is nothing but the keyboard, right? This is not a real keyboard, but it's a screen keyboard, right? So you can do that. Now, last weekend, just follow this trend. Last weekend, I got a very interesting phone from Apple again. So I want to show you this phone. That I want you to look at this one. Now, this is the camera. Look at this. Now, this is a new one I just got it from Apple last week. So if you look at the front, if you look at the front of this phone, it's nothing special, right? Just a phone, right? And you look at the back, it's also a screen. Okay? And you open this. What is it? This is a tablet, right? You see it? You got it? Okay? And you can watch your YouTube here, you can do your email here. It's a two screen, okay? You got it? Now, this is still prototype, and my judgment is I don't think it's going to fly, but the reason is this you have a bezel in here. But remember here, they can already make the bezel very, very thin, so that you can actually have this thing folded, become two screens. You open it, and you can also share different kind of content on the two screens. So this will be the future of the phone. And I bet you, next year you're going to see many companies come with this. Some company will have the phone fold this way and phone fold the other way, but the screen eventually becomes double. The front and back of all the screens. And the good thing about this, I'll come back to your question. The good thing about this is, you know, currently the phone, the way we design the phone. Okay. Currently, the way we design the phone, we have two cameras, right? Actually, even three cameras. Some phone like this one, a two camera on the back there, and one front camera for selfie, right? So when you want to take your own picture, you face this way. You want to take the picture in the back, you face that way, right? And so the result of this, because we are under cost competition, you will see the selfie camera is always lower end camera, right? The back camera. The back camera is very good, right? The back camera is very good. The selfie camera is very low end. You can actually add two good cameras, but that will be too expensive, right? You know, one of the good things about this double screen phone is what? You only need one set of good cameras. You know how? Because if you wanted to take a selfie, you just use this camera, look at yourself. If you want to take a picture from other people, you turn around, this becomes the same camera, then you still can this become a viewfinder. You understand my point? So eventually you will find out that you will have more screens, less camera. You will find out the reason we have this kind of double set of camera is because we only have one side of the screen, right? I told you last time I saw a real prototype. Now they have this very fine screen in the front, and then they have the back screen, and they can use the back screen to do maneuver. And now recently there's a new Russian company, I think it's a Russian and Chinese joint venture called Utah. You you go to the website, look at Utah, it's very interesting. They have a very good front screen, then they have a black and white, like the reader kind of screen in the back. Black and white screen in the back, always on. It's consume very little energy. And so when you want to read something, you go back there, you want to call in front. So I bet next year you will see a lot of this kind of screen come up. A lot of this kind of double screen come up. Because this is going to disrupt the current market. Yes, question? Can you talk to the microphone, please? Over here, there, yes. Hello? Hello?
I was just wondering what company that's a prototype.
ZTE. You know who is ZTE? It's a Chinese company owned by, I may be wrong, Huawei? I don't know. It's ZTE, go to ZTE, okay? And this is actually now AT&T phone. So I'll pass it around, okay? I'll pass it around. Unfortunately, I cannot pass to other classrooms, but at least you can see it a little bit here. Okay, be careful. This is about $900, so it's very expensive. Okay, this is a particular design. It doesn't have to be this way. Actually, the other prototype I see, they are exactly the same, folded up half. They folded inside. Okay? And this is not really, I think this is more like a prototype because the design is really not good. Because the real foldable screens, you will see they don't have a hinge. You should not have a hinge. Once you have a hinge, you have a gap. Okay? So, that's interesting. You look at there, many companies now file the patent. What they do is they will create a special, very fine special mesh. Almost like the, when you wounded, the car, yeah, almost like that. They will have this very special mesh, and they put all these components into each mesh, all there, so the whole thing becomes flexible. There's a lot of patents in this area. So this is going to be a huge disruption, okay? Okay, so as we pass through these things, now let me also show you some example of platform innovation. Now, the platform innovation, I already told you, this is really something you take advantage of your existing customers, you collect data, you generate value. So the best example I can show you certainly is Amazon, right? So Amazon has really been the leader, and you know the owner of Amazon now becomes the richest person in the world, right? And today I heard a report that the top richest person in the United States, their joint assets is $250 billion US, which is more than the total of the lower 1/3 or 2/3 of the population. Okay, you can tell this is really amazing. Now, the most amazing thing to me is such success occur in a period of 17 years. This is unheard of. Okay, and in 17 years, it could be such big success. Now, but if you really look at what's behind Amazon, and you will understand the reason, because all the way from the beginning, the company will do things that on the market you think they're doing A, but behind the market, in their own mind, they're actually doing B, because they are considering something new. So at the very beginning, for example, in 2000, that's when Amazon started. Everybody think of Amazon as a bookseller, right? No, that's how you did. So then, they never wanted to be a bookseller. So then why did they start with book? Well, because they wanted to create a platform. A platform would require people to come over here, do something. And since Amazon was a new company, they never sell anything before. Then they started to think about what would be the easiest thing to sell. What could be the easiest thing to sell? Well, you can sell toilet paper, toothbrush, and they decided to sell books. It's easy to sell, right? Books is very easy to sell. And also, they try to use books to push three things, which are very fundamental to their business philosophy. The first thing Amazon always do, if you look at all the Amazon business today, they always do three things. The first thing is large selection. Almost every book you can think of, you go to Amazon, you'll find it. That applies to everything they do today. So today, if you want to buy anything, okay, here I'm speaking about at least in the US market. I know in China, and Alibaba may have the same approach. And in South Korea, I do not know which one is more popular. In Taiwan, maybe another popular platform. So let me first say a few words about the Amazon strategy in US, then we can then open discussion for different kind of platforms. So Amazon, first thing is large selection. Everything you wanted, you'll find it. The second one, obviously, is lower price. Now, this is obvious. If you have a large selection, you will have a much negotiating power with the supplier vendor, the price will be very low. The third thing, which is really very important for Amazon success, that is unthinkable service. They will return, you can return anytime, 30 days there, and their delivery is so reliable. If they tell you they will arrive in 5 days, they will give you a pleasant surprise to arrive at 4 days. So they will always try to give you undeliverable service, okay? So, what happened is, not only they sell the books, which basically they buy the books, put in inventory they sell, they also allow the third party to sell their own books. In other words, they don't even need to own your inventory. You just need to tell them what book you have. Again, book is easy to do that, right? So the Amazon strategy is very smart. They always try to use an easy thing to learn how to do that fast. Then they spend time. They will not begin with a very hard thing to do. They will start with something very easy, and then try to really perfect on these three things: large selection, lower price, fast service. And then you can offer it to third party. Now you can tell, even though you can call them the bookseller, they are actually the platform provider, right? They provide a platform. So this is just the beginning. You know, about 6 years ago, 6 years later, Amazon started to become a distribution platform. Okay, become a logistics platform. So 2006, they started something called fulfillment by Amazon. Now, you and me as an end customer, you probably do not realize this, but this has become a huge success for a lot of vendors. This mostly for B2B, because Amazon is doing books so well, they have very good knowledge about how to do logistics, how to do distribution. They have built a huge warehouse in many strategic locations, and if you fly to some strategic city in the United States, you'll find that the Amazon warehouse is so huge, and they are right next to the big airport. And Amazon has their own logistics to fly the product around. And once they have this infrastructure, they started to provide third party. In other words, you can sell anything. You want to sell fish, you want to sell vegetable, you sell anything. Because they have already learned how to do this, again, their target, their focus has always been on the platform. Okay? So, in the same year, they also started a big data platform. Because they started to realize, if our platform is so popular, if people come to our platform to do their own business, we can then collect the data for free. And yet, we can then extract value from this data and then sell this data to other companies or to improve our own service. So it was 2006, this is 10 years ago, Amazon started their web service, the data web service. Now, Amazon now is one of the largest ones in the world in this. Microsoft is also very big, but Amazon has a big one. If you get a chance to travel to North Dakota, Amazon has a whole city in the middle of nowhere. The whole city is really houses after houses of what? Computer server, big server, okay? And they purposely built this, the server city in the northern part of the United States because they can save a lot of air conditioning. Because those places are very cold. Cold places are best for the computer equipment, right? So they can do a lot of things there, okay? Now, this platform idea is very smart because not only they can start to collect data, make money on third party, they can also better serve their existing customers. Okay? Now, here you may have a question regarding big data. That is, how about the ownership? How about privacy? Certainly, privacy is a very important issue. But how about ownership? Right? Who owns the data? Is it really okay data and use it for your profit. Now, this is a very important tricky point. This is a different country, a different law, but at least for the United States, after the recent election, the law in the United States has become different. In the past, in the previous administration, it is not allowed. It is not legal to profit from the data you collect from someone else. But this administration has changed the law. So right now, this is what it says. That if I collect your data, I am not able to use your data directly for profit. In other words, if I collect your age, your income, I cannot sell that data to someone else. I cannot do that. It's your data. On the other hand, if I collect the salary information or age information from a lot of many of you, and then I analyze those large big data and find some interesting insight, that finding is mine. I can then profit from that. You understand the difference? Okay, so this is really a big success for Amazon. And now if you look at Amazon income portfolio, this is a major percentage from this virtual service. Okay, so build on this success, Amazon started to do something very interesting. You probably heard this about 3-4 years ago. Amazon started to enter the grocery service, right? Because right now Amazon basically is Amazon is the largest grocery store in the world online. But they also wanted to change the grocery service in the real brick and mortar store. So they started buying this. Amazon right now has 2 real Amazon grocery stores, one in Seattle, the other one in Washington, D.C. You know the difference of this grocery store? That you walk into the store, you don't pay money, you take whatever you want, you walk out, that's it. There's no cashier. How can I do that? How can I do that? The sensor and the big data, the platform. Because to them, they have already perfected the virtual platform, right? The only difference between what you do in the Amazon website and what you do when you walk in the Amazon store is the sensor, right? So as long as I can sense you, it will be the same data, right? So what you do with this real Amazon store is you will walk into the Amazon store in the front door, you will scan your card, your Amazon Prime membership, right? Once you have that in, they already know who you are, right? Your credit card number is already there. You walk in there, and everything you buy is scanned. So immediately, you just like click. Same right? As long as you have sensor the same thing, then you walk out. Now, the interesting thing is, because they have to collect so much data of what you purchased before. So if you walk in that store to grab something which you never purchased before, they know it. So when you walk out, someone will come to you and to check. You understand the point? If you have been buying something all the time, it's very typical. But if you really have a very unusual purchase, that will indicate some risk, right? So that's why people are coming. So, for example, Amazon now really know your purchase behavior, right? You buy so many things, then once in a while they will send you an email saying you may like this. And the scary thing is you really like it, right? That's really bad. So the way I do it, I have my wife use the same account, I use the same account, my 2 wives use the same account. So far Amazon has never figured out who I am. So I never get an email because our purchase is so wide, so they are not able to really find some pattern. But if you don't, if you just keep doing your own thing, you'll find out they understand a lot of detail about this. Okay? So Amazon started to purchase Whole Foods. Now for those of you who do not know what is Whole Foods is a very special store in the United States, high-end store, and they are very good. And now they are completely owned by Amazon. And the day Amazon took over Whole Foods, the whole price dropped about 10-15%, which is amazing. The Whole Foods is very good, but it's very expensive. And Amazon are able to do that because their logistics, the platform is so good. Now, I'm sure you've heard of these things now. Amazon started to eat this distributor. So Amazon has been making a lot of money for UPS and FedEx, right? And now they think it's our turn to eat you. So now they have their own aircraft, and and they are doing their own logistics. So the next target is Amazon will take over not just the grocery store, but all the distributors. So now, very quickly, you're going to see FedEx and UPS become a competitor to Amazon. So if you don't lower the price, I'm going to have my own airplane as well. Okay? Actually, Amazon has been eyeing this distribution industry for a long time. And several years ago, I read a report, I was very surprised because Amazon has so much things to ship through FedEx, right? And in order to take Amazon business, FedEx needs to add more airplanes to their fleet, right? And you know who are the bankers? Amazon's bankers. Amazon will just give the money to FedEx to buy the plane, buy their own product, and take the interest. But now Amazon will go even further. They want to simply just do the business. And this is really amazing because Amazon knows so much about your purchase behavior. They know so much about the purchase behavior of the whole area, the zip code. They can very smartly store their inventory in different places. So when you talk about the logistics that's done by Amazon and the logistics done by UPS or FedEx, it's very different. Because UPS, FedEx are reactive, right? That's when you have a package, you call them, they come to you, right? But Amazon, because they know their customer purchase so well, they can become proactive. Now, let me tell you my own experience. I just couldn't believe this is the case. About a couple months ago, and I was browsing Amazon trying to find something. Then I found one product. At that time, it was already about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that product is still listed as delivered the same day. Now, I couldn't believe it. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I would come to deliver. And the United States is a big country, then how can you deliver that in the same day? So I just clicked it. I said, well, we'll see who comes to deliver. So it's a typical product. It's a daily use product. And then after I click that, it still says the same day deliver. I just couldn't believe it. It's already 6 o'clock. So I sit in front of my door and I want to see who's coming. Right? I'm really curious as to who's coming. And it's very surprising. About 8:30, someone ring the doorbell and come to deliver. And I couldn't help it. I would just follow him and say, hey, guys, who are you? Who do you work for? You know what? It turns out he lives not far away from my house. He's my neighbor. Why is that? How can you do that? And then I went back. Then I find out something Amazon done very smart. And they know, for example, they know the general purchase pattern of that zip code, right? They know it, right? So they will select few strategic parts. They will convince one of the customers that if you allow me to store some product in your garage, and if it's necessary, if you can drop this to your neighbor, I will give you a huge discount of this product, or even you can use that free. You got it? So this product actually comes from my neighbor. Now, this kind of proactive logistic distribution, no way UPS and FedEx can compete. You know the difference? Because UPS, FedEx is more reactive, right? So in the future, you'll find out, because Amazon has such a big platform, they don't even need to have a huge warehouse anymore. They can simply strategically store the things near your neighborhood. And then the things will be very quickly delivered to you. This is going to fundamentally change it all because of platform innovation. So when Amazon do this innovation, you have to really watch for, because it's very significant because their power in the platform. If you do not have that platform, even if you have that good idea, you couldn't do it. Now, by the way, this distribution platform idea is not new. Company like Walmart, we all know Walmart is a huge warehouse, right? But you know what? About 1/3 of Walmart's inventory are not stored in the Walmart warehouse. You know where they store them? They are roaming around the United States highway. So this is how it works. And Walmart has this big 20-footer big truck, right? So every time they load a full truck, like for example, toothpaste, okay? They will load a whole truck of toothpaste, and the driver will drive on the highway. By the time the driver gets on the highway, he has no idea where he's going. He just goes east, okay? He just keeps going. And then the sunlight on the truck will be on, and then the information from the Walmart distribution center will calculate the demand, and then it will send information to that truck driver and say, hey, you get off in the next exit. Driver will just get on the next exit, download something, get on the highway, and keep going. So about 1/3 of Amazon's warehouse are on United States highways. You can tell this is really how competitive of this platform provider. So logistics distribution become a major issue here. And that's why I think you probably didn't pay attention to this news. Last time they had this disaster relief, we had a big hurricane in different places, and you know, every time we have this disaster, the Red Cross will go in, FEMA will go in there. And you know what? Before Red Cross, FEMA went in there, Walmart truck is already there. Why? Because the truck is on the highway. It's not in the parking lot, it's in the highway. They just keep driving around the state, wherever they need it, they just go there. So this is really the new structure that people in logistics and distribution are working on. Now, the last one that Amazon currently doing, which I'm not sure is a good idea or not, but maybe I'm wrong, because they have been successful so long, so maybe I'm wrong. You know, there's a new program called Amazon Keys. Have you heard of this? That is, you will actually allow Amazon to deliver the package, enter the door in your house, and put a package inside. What do you think? It's a good idea or a bad idea? But they really do that very well. I think it's a bad idea, but Amazon is doing that. I don't know. Well, this is, I still need to figure out why, but according to the report, it's because there's so many packages being left outside the porch and being taken away, which I can understand. But having people enter your door, in other words, okay, here's how it works, okay? You first have to register with Amazon, then you have to pay them about $90 to buy their lock, right? It's a standard lock, so they sell you a lock, right? So they put it on you, and then every time you order something, and you will have a one-time code shipped to the delivery person, and the delivery person will enter your door. And by the way, you will also buy Amazon camera. Remember, Amazon sells a lot of camera, also this voice activating. So when the guy enters your door, the camera will show he's there, and you can see it on the phone. Say, okay, the guy entered my front door. It sounds very exciting. I still think it's a good idea, but this is what they're doing, okay? And 2017, Amazon is doing this. Yes.
Are they not like doing background checks to all the people who are doing
I don't know. I just, even if you have a good background, I don't want you to enter my house, okay? Even if you are a good citizen, it's not for my house. But it's different. People may want that, okay? But different countries have different ways to do that. For example, in Germany, and there's so many apartments there, people are not at home. So what they do is they deliver to a big mailbox near the gas station. And then you get a code on your phone, and you walk to the gas station, you open that box and take it out. I think that makes sense, right? But in America, for some reason, people like to deliver inside the door. I don't know how. Yes.
What do you do with if like you're home and you don't want anyone to come into your door at that time? You have to schedule a specific time for the.
Don't ask me. I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
But I think you should look into this Amazon. It's a big deal. Now they're doing that. Okay, they want to sell you a lock. They want to sell you a camera. They want to sell you all different things. So eventually, Amazon. The goal is Amazon will control your life. They will control not only what you use, what you do in your house. You know, Amazon has this device called Amazon. What is it called? Echo. What is it called?
Alexa,
Amazon, whatever it's called, right? You know how much that costs? No, much cheaper than that. No. No, actually, last time I checked, it's about less than $100. Very cheap. Huh? 70, I think 79 something. How could that be that cheap? How could that be? It's pretty high tech, right? You know why? You know why? They can give you free, because their purpose is to collect the data of how you live your life. Right? Everything you say, everything you do in the kitchen is there. Okay, so anyway, I'm talking about in the future you'll find out the people who own the platform, the people who can collect data are really going to lead this. And if you don't have that, it's really hard to compete. This leading to our talk about the future paradigm. Okay, the future paradigm really become very different from today's paradigm. Today, we are competing on this mass production model. In the future, it becomes massive data collection. Massive data collection. Okay. Now here, with time constraint, I don't have time to do it online, but earlier I was hoping that we have a discussion to compare what Amazon is doing and what another very interesting, very successful, very similar company in China called Alibaba. Alibaba did a similar thing, right? So there has been a lot of discussion about whether Alibaba will overtake Amazon, whether Amazon can be better than Alibaba. What do you think? What do you think? Because if you look at the e-commerce, I mean, this is basically e-commerce, right? If you look at platform, a lot of advancements in China today are very amazing. If you just look at online payment, in China, you don't have to really carry any cash. You don't even need to carry credit card, right? Am I right? Students from Beijing? You don't really have to do that. You just have a widget and a phone. Everything works. The US, at least you need to carry credit card, right? In Germany, actually, it's the worst. I mean, not only credit card, you have to carry cash. Not only cash, you have to carry a coin, right? The first thing I went to Germany, I did is I would replace my wallet, because my wallet can never carry a coin, small coin. But in Germany, you have to have that. Okay, so the question is, can Amazon be as successful as Alibaba or vice versa? How do you compare these two? Now, we can certainly have a lot of discussion, but let me tell you one conclusion. That is, it is hard to compare when you have a platform innovation. Why? Because platform innovation has a lot to do with local law and requirements. What can be done? What can be done in one market, which is legal? It cannot necessarily be done in another market. And the US, you have to give a credit to Amazon, because Amazon has really figured out a lot of transaction requirements, the risk, the liability, everything. So you ask them, what happens if you enter my door and then my jewelry get lost, right? Don't worry, Amazon has already had lawyers to talk about this. I mean, they know how to handle this, okay? But Alibaba developed very fast in China, and China has a very different kind of law requirement. The financial law is very different. One of the reasons that China right now has the most advanced online payment system is because what? It's because the financial regulation in China is very different from other markets. And to many cases, the regulation, because it's a newly developed economy, is actually much less than the Western world. That's why, for example, a lot of things Alibaba can do legally in China, if you just move that in the US, is actually illegal. You cannot do that. So it is very important to understand that for people holding these large platforms innovation, even though on the surface, the key is the platform and data, all these technology things. But the real reason for them to be successful is how do they actually synthesize their technology with the local legal requirement? Because that is their big liability, big risk. So for example, Alibaba now wants to become global, right? They become so successful in China, they want to go global. When they come over to Detroit, have a big announcement, they want to do this, they want to do that, you know what? It's all fine. But unless you can really figure out the local legal requirements, there's no way you can be successful. Your liability is so high. Yes. But to me,
could you give an example of like one thing that Alibaba does, or like a problem that Alibaba would encounter if they did just try to move operations here?
Oh, okay. Good example is, I don't know the English name of that service. You see, Alibaba, by the way, I learned that from the innovator directly. About a year and a half ago, I was invited to a high-level panel discussion in China. And I was one of the panelists. There's a couple other guys. One of them called Jack Ma. Know who's Jack Ma? He founded Alibaba, right? So suddenly he was the center of stage. Everybody asking questions, right? So one of the questions asked to him is, people ask him, what are the real secrets for Alibaba to be so successful in China? So Jack Ma is a very smart person. So he said, okay, I can tell you very simple. There are only 3 reasons for Alibaba to be successful. The first one is internet is fast. Sure, internet is fast. And I have internet. So everything I want to do, very fast. Second, China is big. Sure, big market, right? So not only fast, I do very big, right? Third thing is really amazing. Everybody laughs. He said, the third thing is the government is small. What do you mean by that? Internet is fast, market is big, the government is small. That's exactly the question. That is, a lot of times, because internet is so fast, Alibaba can do something which is not legal, which is not illegal, because there's no such law. But it becomes so fast, by the time the government wakes up, wait, everybody's doing that now. What are you going to do? Well, you make it law. So the good example is early on, Alibaba has one service. I don't know how it's called. For example, if you buy this thing, it's $10. You can actually pay $100. And then Alibaba will keep that $90. Right? Then you can use that $90 to do something else. Then you'll give you interest. Now, if you do that the same thing in the United States, you violate the law. Because in the US, you cannot, not everybody can be a bank. You understand? Not everybody can be a bank, basically, right? Or you can do that privately, but you cannot do that openly because banks have to be regulated. Banks have to be insured. One of the problems we have in financial crisis early on, a lot of investment companies in the US become banks, right? That's why you have problems, right? But you know what? At that moment, when Alibaba did that in China, there was no law to against that. But certainly there's no law to say yes or no, you just do it. By the time the government realized, gee, Alibaba suddenly become a bank. Right. A lot of people already have money into that. So they will simply make the law say, okay, you can do that. But follow this, follow that. So once that, you know what? Alibaba become a dominant design. Remember we talked about dominant design? You set the rule, right? So the reason I want to tell you all this is because when you look at platform innovation, you have to be very careful. It's not just about technology, not about data. It's a lot about your understanding of the rule, the regulations, the social regulations. Okay? So I think Alibaba will have a great opportunity to be a global player, but unless they really understand a lot of different culture in different places, it is not necessarily a big, easy trip. Okay? So for example, Alibaba now is expanding very quickly into Africa. I think maybe they have good business because the rules are very loose, right? Many countries don't even have a regulation to say you should do that, you should not do that. We don't know. So Alibaba has a lot of experience. They just go there and just do it, and then have the government to sanction. Okay? But if they want to come into a very well-structured, for example, I would say Alibaba will have a huge difficulty to enter the European market, the West Europe, because their rule is so difficult. Everything, see, in Germany, if I buy something online, and after I receive the product, and about 2 weeks later, I will receive some paper in mail, which is a receipt of that purchase. They must give you a paper. Even if it's online transaction, by law, you have to have a paper. I don't know why, but that's how they do it. Okay? So, I just want to point out the key here is to really understand what makes it the platform innovation success. Okay? Any questions? Any questions from Beijing as I talk about Alibaba a lot? Any questions from Taiwan? What is the most popular platform in Taiwan? What is it? They don't use Alibaba, right? What is the most
some people go to Taobao, you know, and in Taiwan, I think there are in Taiwan, there are also many platforms, and one of it is Shopee, I think, and it's doing a lot of marketing right now, trying to expand its platform.
Okay, okay. How about in South Korea? In South Korea, which platform is most popular? Anyone from South Korea? Which one is the most popular in South Korea? Where you buy things online? You don't buy online?
I think Optum and G-Market is the most popular one.
G-Market?
Yes, it is.
G-Market. I thought G-Market is a real store. It's not? Or it's called K-Market?
Online shopping mall.
Okay, okay. So they're very popular? Okay. We have some answer from Taiwan.
Yes, one question. Well, Alibaba and Amazon. Because I was questioned by someone before from mainland China, say why Taiwan cannot use the same kind of system. And one concern of my friend in Taiwan is about privacy protection. So the privacy protection, is it Alibaba become successful is one of the reasons the privacy protection in mainland China is different from the Western country?
I don't know the detail, but I can tell you the privacy is part of the legal issue, part of the social issue that I talk about. And privacy things are very different from one society to the other. So yes, it is a factor, but whether indeed that Alibaba has put advantage of this, I don't know. I don't know. But another thing is about liability. Okay. Actually, Alibaba, I can also order things from Alibaba from US, which I tried 2 times. And my success rate is about lower than 50% because half of the time I don't get it. But I don't get it, I don't pay. Okay, that's fine, but I still lose the time, right? So after a while, I will stop doing that. Although the price is very attractive, if I buy directly from USA, the price is very attractive, but I'm running the opportunity cost, right? But if I buy from Amazon, I tell you, it will never happen. Okay, it will never happen. So the value to the credit, the value to privacy, all this relates to what I just talked about. Yes, this question here.
I was just gonna comment, how was owned by Alibaba, I Googled it.
I don't know, Alibaba only.
No, I'm telling you, I looked it up.
Yeah, okay,
And
okay. Yeah, okay. So this is something I think is very important, particularly if you study this course, we're focusing on the cultural differences to inspire your innovation. Actually, the platform innovation is a perfect example for you to think about. Because platform is all the same. Data is data. But unless you really understand the cultural norm, the legal system, the people's behavior, whether people are comfortable, you enter their door, and they are not comfortable, there are many, many things there that will impact on this platform innovation. Okay? And you can even think about the platform innovation and in terms of your cross-cultural exercise, which Professor Morrison just announced at the beginning, right? Think about whether if you wanted to be the representative of Alibaba to West Europe, what do you do? Okay? Think about if Alibaba sent you to be their Africa major chief strategist in Africa, what do you do, right? So those are very, very good examples. So these are really a very important part of innovation here. Okay? Privacy is a major issue. The issue about privacy is a major issue, and it is such a difficult issue. Okay? Now, this privacy issue also is a very interesting because privacy issue is never a technology issue. Because a lot of people say, oh, privacy is no problem. I'll make my computer very secure. No, you can never solve the privacy issue with a pure technology. It also relates to human behavior. Okay? If you think this is a technical issue and you use a technical solution, you never can get it. Okay? That's why privacy issue is a good example about the behavior, about the culture, right? Now, on this point, I have to tell you that this is one of the mistakes I think a lot of technology companies often make. Last night, I was, before going to bed, I was watching the TV news, and I was so shocked to hear news about Facebook. I don't know what you heard the news about now. Facebook now faces a major crisis because a lot of information on Facebook are not really the decent information. For example, a lot of crazy guys, after they break up with their girlfriend, they'll post this very indecent photo of the nude picture on the Facebook to revenge, right? And Facebook gets really scared, right? They get sued, right? Do you know what the news, at least the news told report say? Facebook now have a service. So if you're concerned that your indecent photo will be posted in the future, Facebook can help you. How do they help you? You put all your nude photos to Facebook, okay? And so that they will have a database to match your future nude photos. Come on. I'm not joking. This is real news. I mean, you go to the website and check. This is how Facebook engineer propose a solution. You believe that? You guys are joking. I mean, this is not a joke. This is a real thing, okay? So the best way to prevent your indecent picture to be posted in the future is to give it all to Facebook, right? So it will protect you. Okay. Enough of this. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Now, because I only have half hour, I will have to jump a little bit, okay? So I will do this things very quickly. Now, this basically saying that, remember we talked about these 4 things in the current paradigm? The demand, the function, the performance, and the cost, right? And you will find out these 4 things very interesting because these 4 things actually divide all the players in the current paradigm into 3 categories. You'll find out the so-called first-tier company. The first-tier company, their main focus is always on demand and function. Look at Apple. Apple never negotiate price with you. You think the price is too high? Fine. Their focus is always on demand and function. Why? Upstream, right? Now, if you look at the second-tier company, the typical second-tier company, you find out they are always focusing on new functions and better performance. They always do it. Their price may be a little bit high. They have to be more price sensitive than the first-tier company. And then you'll find out there are a lot of third-tier companies. The third-tier company are the company that basically try to make a good performance cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So their focus, they never focusing on demand and function because it's already been done. It's already been figured out. It's already been standardized. So they're focusing on price and performance. This is a very interesting. So by looking at the current paradigm, you can clearly see which company is which category. Right? Just look at the business strategy. This has nothing to do with how big they are. Okay? Some of these very small companies, but they are first-tier companies. They are really focusing on upstream. And some of them, certainly the third-tier company always has to be big. They have to compete on the scale, right? And I will show you later on that this way of categorizing companies will be completely different in the future. Okay? So now I'm going to show you the 4th industrial revolution. Again, I will quickly go through this because this is just overview for the next week. Okay? So we have 4 industrial revolutions. The first one happens in the 18th century. What was that? Steam engine. What was the significance of steam engine? Because it was the beginning of something called industrial economy. Before steam engine, we have agricultural society, right? In agricultural society, everything you need to use, you go to your barn, you make it. But once you have a steam engine, you're able to generate power independent of the animal. You can start to create a factory. You can start to produce things and put in the store to sell. So it was a big, big change in civilization, changing from agriculture to industry. Now, the next revolution, the next revolution happened in the 19th century. What's that? Number 1 is the invention of electricity by Thomas Edison. He said, what's the big deal about electricity? Because we already know how to use mechanical power, right? You have to realize electrical power and mechanical power are very different because electrical power are much easier to be distributed. In the early days, if you have to rely on mechanical power, all the factory has to be more concentrated. You'll find that most of the factory are next to rivers, for example. And they have to get a power, right? But now you have electrical as your electricity. As long as you wire, you can have your factory everywhere. So as a result of that, the whole industry starts to have a much bigger scale. Then comes with Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a bigger contributor on the second innovation, second revolution called mass production. And now they put in the mass production, they make a lot of more, they make standard product, right? So this second revolution has been very, very important contribution to civilization in the 19th century, because it created something which has been a key driver of economy called middle class. Before you have the mass production, you don't have middle class. You either have rich people or poor people. You don't have middle class. Henry Ford was very smart. Not only did he lower the price of the product by standardization, he also did something which very few factory owners will do today. He raised the salary for his worker several times more. Why does he do that? He was smart enough to figure out that even my product is cheaper, but if people do not earn enough salary, they cannot buy my product. So what happened is he did two things. He lowered the price of the product, and he increased the salary of the worker, so that the worker can earn enough salary to buy the car and drive the car to the factory to make the car. Oh, nice. This is very smart. Then the whole economy starts to run, and then generate a bigger middle class, right? Okay? So, fast moving to 1950s, we had the third revolution. The third revolution is digital revolution. Mostly there are two things. One is in hardware, we started to develop something called semiconductors. Before that, of all of what's happening, very little you can do. Now, once you have a semiconductor transistor, you quickly generate a completely different category of product called electronics. Look at your iPhone, so small, there's thousands of something to it. You know, before, the music player was mechanical device, right? Big mechanical device. So certainly this has a major impact to the economy, because we have whole electronics industry started, which was not before. The second thing is even more important. That is, because we know how to make semiconductor, transistor, we started to make computers. What's the impact of computers? The computer started to create something we never heard before, called information. Now, before, information is just record, right? Bookkeeping record, right? And suddenly with computer now we have something called information industry. Now, for people born before computer, they couldn't figure out what the heck is this? What is the information industry? What is the value of this 1010? A computer created a complete new industry called information industry. And more importantly, you started to have internet. 1980, early 1980s, you have internet come up. Now, what happened to internet is internet started to create a virtual world in addition to the real world. See that? So the real world is still going on, but after this third revolution, after the internet, now you have a parallel world going on. Part of our life is in the virtual world. A lot of people actually spend more hours every day in the virtual world. They are very popular on Facebook, they hardly go out to meet anybody. It's the virtual world. And part of it is the real world. Now, for people like us who were born before, it's very hard for us to think about how could the virtual world be real. It's not real. You know what is very real? People become billionaires in the virtual world, right? Very real. So this is really what happened. You can tell this is a major impact on civilization. Okay? So now we are going to enter the next one. The next one we call 4.0. The 4.0 actually is motivated by the problem that we encounter in the third revolution. What's the problem? The third revolution, remember I said two things. One is just push the economy very high because you have a lot of electronics product, and electronics product is best for mass production, right? Look at it, can make huge amount of electronics, right? So once you have this computer technology, you started to automate the mass production, you end up something here called overproduction. You overproduce. Not only you overproduce, and by the way, it's a good reason to overproduce, because you can lower the price, right? Remember the mass production? And also the mass production gives you one advantage, that is, you do not need to know precisely who needs what and what. You do not need to know precisely. You just do what? Just produce more. More is always safer, because more is always cheaper, right? So you say, well, in case I produce too much, I couldn't sell. What happened? Don't worry. You can always ship it on sale, right? People always buy it if it's cheap enough. You will see many of our purchases today, it's not because we need it, it's because it's cheap, right? We just buy it. We buy it and then we figure out whether we need it or not. And I always tell people that in the US, in the past 10 years, one of the industries which grows is the fastest. You know which industry is that? For mini storage. Have you heard of mini storage? You know why? People have too much junk. Things are so cheap. And we buy it, and then we go home to figure out, oh, I don't need it. Okay, that's fine, but it's cheap. We'll put it in mini storage. This kind of thing really becomes the result of the third revolution. That is, we become too powerful in technology. We produce too much, and because mass production encourages us to produce more. So we end up with all these waste, all these irrational behavior. And you will find that something even more serious, that is the result of global outsourcing. Remember we talked about global outsourcing? Global outsourcing makes the whole world imbalance. Part of the world, like in China, we way overproduce. Part of the world, like the United States, we way overconsume. This creates huge instability in the economy. So one of the problems of the third revolution is what? Is the overcapacity. That's number one. Number two, problem with the information revolution is it created two parallel worlds, a virtual world and a real world, and these two worlds are not connected. Let me give you one example. When you enter the virtual world, it's all information. A lot of times you get misunderstood, you think it's real, but it's not. For example, you're sending messages to each other, you're tweeting information to each other. Those are simply information. They are not a context. Remember in the course we talk about content versus context? Information only captures the content. Now look at what Twitter does. Twitter now is very powerful to send each other this short content information. But unless you have a good context, which can only exist in the real world, right? So you work with people, you understand, now I see where it comes from. Unless you have that context information from the real world, only work on the content information in the virtual world is very dangerous. People say this is almost like driving high speed during the night on highway without the headlight on. Very dangerous. That's why you see internet today has destroyed a few countries. Because the internet, this piecewise content information can get people excited very easily. But the internet today has not created a new country. Why? Because creating a new country requires the contextual understanding. Internet today becomes a very good tool to get people to disagree with each other, but it's a very hard tool for agreement. You just look at a political situation, you will understand what I mean, right? Everybody has its own version of the truth. Now, in the democracy, we all entitled to our own opinion. But the internet now allows us to entitle our own alternative facts. Have you heard of this? Alternative facts? This is so ridiculous, right? Because you have your facts, you can prove to me by showing the website. I have my own fact too. I have every fact you want to know, the internet. The world is so crazy. So many of the things we see today, from political, from economical, from environmental point, all point out that something must change. You cannot go on like that. We have already spent or overspent the benefit of it. Now we are suffering. So that's why this afternoon I gave a special talk, and the subject was why the internet now is advancing our civilization at the expenses of humanity. You think about that, think about that, right? So we now become very civilized, right? Everybody has a couple of smartphones, everybody has a computer, but if you look at our behavior, we become less human, right? Because on the internet, we are very cruel to each other. We cyberbully each other, right? I mean, on the internet, I can certainly send you a message, you look ugly. But if I say that in front of you, I don't do that. I cannot do that. In front of you, I don't do that, right? But in cyberspace, I will just do that right away. We have no feed. Right? Sorry, I will do it. I will do it. Okay? So what I'm saying is you have to realize the separation of virtual space and the real space create a lot of problems. All the way from political problems, from this, because if you separate these two things, you have this very stupid thing called alternative facts, right? Everybody has his own fact. The world cannot go on like this. So there's a lot of discussion on this. Actually, if you're interested in this, I can give you a full lecture about many examples. Last year in Germany, I gave a TED talk on this, and really illustrating that we have to really face this issue now, because otherwise we're killing ourselves. We become more civilized human beings, but we become less human. Okay? So what's the solution? Now there are many solutions. We can certainly have different philosophy, different things, but there's a technical hope that is called Industrial 4.0. The 4.0 has many different explanations, but the key is called cyber-physical integration. Now you can tell the main goal is to merge the cyber world with the physical world. How do you do that? Well, there's several preconditions. Okay, now because my time is running out, so I'm going to describe to you rather than show all the details. And if we have time later on, I can go back to the detail. Okay, so this is what the cyber-physical integration works. Remember we talked about the problem now is the separation of cyberspace and physical space, right? What could be the way to link them together? What could be the way to link them together? Imagine, if I can attach a sensor to every physical part in the real world, if I can do that, right? And if every piece of the sensor I have in the physical world can transmit information to the virtual world, and if I'm able to attach a unique IP address to that information, what I have a complete image of the virtual world, of the real world and the virtual world, right? You understand my point? So if you think about it, very interesting, the gap between virtual world and the real world is what? It's the sensor technology and network. So if I have enough sensor, enough IP address, I can basically link the virtual world with the real world. That will allow me to have a truly integrated cyber-physical system. Now, let me tell you, if that happens, we don't know whether it will happen or not, right? If that happens, what will change? How will that change your mass production? So now, last year I was in Germany, Aachen. I spent a whole year and working with their 4.0 demonstration factory, and I saw a lot of demonstration products. This is really interesting. Every product built in 4.0 model, any product, any vehicle has a unique IP address. They started to have many IP addresses in there, all the way from factory. So when the product comes out, they know exactly what was the history behind it. More importantly, when the product now gets into your hands, every day when you use the product, the information gets collected. Remember the platform and big data? So the same product goes out of the factory the same way. After you use it for months, these two products will be having different data collected, right? Your usage behavior is different, right? And then they can start to analyze this data to find out what is important to you which is very different from what is important to you. They can then use software update or send you an update module. So the products become more and more different as you use them more and more. You understand the whole idea? Again, I'm moving very quickly to tell you strategy. For example, now in Germany, you can buy this very generic electrical car. When we should go to the factory and buy these two cars, they all the same. Base model. Okay? Then we start to drive. You drive to work every day. I only do it the weekend, and I do it differently. You do it 6 months later. They will send us different kind of package, upgrade our car. Some of the feature we don't use, they take it apart. Some feature we need more, maybe we need more battery, they put more battery. Maybe we need more control, they put more control in there. So a year later, two of our identical cars become very different. Do you understand the point? Not only that, by collecting all these data through the platform, the factory will be able to figure out when will be the next time you will buy your next car. Remember, one of the blind spots for mass production is not knowing exactly when people need what and when. Right? Now they know. So in the future, you will find out if we are able to collect the consumption data. This is new. Now, collecting data in production is not new. We collect data everywhere in the factory, right? Collecting data in distribution is not new. I mean, Amazon is a distributor, right? They collect data everywhere, right? But the 4.0 has a new dimension that is collect data in end user consumption behavior. So what you have is, once you have this data from production, data from distribution, and more importantly, data from consumption, you close these loops, the whole industry, the whole production model will become very different. You will make a special product to each individual whenever they need it, how much they need. You understand this? This is a vision. I'm telling you the vision, okay? It doesn't have, it has not happened yet. And the way, and the reason they can do that is close the loop, everything now linked from virtual world, the data, to the real world. The real product you use by sensors, by wireless. So that you can become very agile. Remember you heard this agile production? You can become very precise in meeting the demand. Remember, the whole innovation course we talk about here all starts with demand. We talk about a lot of discover demand. But it's very hard for us to know exactly when you need it, how much you need it, and why your need and her need is different. But if we're able to close data between production, distribution, and consumption, we will finally pick up. That is the big vision of 4.0. Now, every country now has a different strategy to deal with that. In America, for example, we don't call 4.0. In America, we typically call IoT, right? Internet of Things. Heard of this? Internet of Things. It's the same thing, right? But Germany want to call 4.0. They really want to really do this kind of new product. I was very interested. I was in Europe. I attended some meeting. They have this closed door demonstration of the new 4.0 product. It's very amazing. They made this cup, and you can hold a cup, you can drink this, and everybody hold it differently, and eventually the cup will have different kind of power. Depends on how you use it. And they show the furniture, you can do that, because they all have sensor inside, right? And they show a very interesting bed. A bed, you sleep on that, and more it will know your sleep pattern, will adjust to that, and will adjust to individual, right? So there was a joke saying, and next time, if your wife leaves the house for several days, when she comes back, she sleep on the bed, she will know what happened. Because the bed will feel very different, right? If different people sleep on the bed, well, the bed will become very different, right? So, certainly, don't ask me about privacy issues. I mean, I think it's a big issue, but this is how the world will be. Because without merging the virtual world and the real world, now we are in terrible trouble. Look at the chaos we have. So, the message I want you to understand is we really have to address this separation of two worlds. And there's a hope by using sensor, internet, wireless, everything there to link what happened in the real world, what happened in the virtual world, and then we can start to really harvest more insight from virtual world and benefit what we do in the real world. Because in the virtual world, you can have different view, look at different scenario, you can do prediction, predictions, you can do forecasting much better. And by the way, this has a fundamental change to how companies do business, okay? Since I'm jumping ahead, let me give you one example. You know, General Electric? General Electric is the largest, it's a large company, very large. They make everything from light bulb to power generator, right? So suppose you sell General Electric power generator, big item, right? You know how they make money before? They sell you the generator, they make money. So they sell products. That was old, right? So later on, they change the model. They sell you the product very cheap, then they make more profit on the service. That's an idea? Well, actually, that's a pretty bad idea because the more your machine breaks down, the more service they give you, they make more money. So they put themselves in the customer's opposite end, right? Got it? So then the company started to see leasing machines, but by the time they lease machine, they still have this dual relationship with the customer. So now, General Electric, starting from 2 years ago, they completely reorganized their generator business. This is a huge business, okay? Now they are running in a very interesting 4.0 model. This is how they do it, okay? They will not sell you generator. You want to generate power? I give it to you. I own it, okay? So how can I survive? How do I take profit? I charge a percentage of your power. So you generate more power, you make more money, I make more money. You got it? That is only the beginning. So what happens is, if I have a generator to you, I have a generator to you, I have a generator to you, I have so many generators, and every day, remember all the generators have sensor, every day you're running different generation. I, as a General Electric headquarters, I collect all the data from multiple sites. This is called digital surrogates, okay? So I will be able to figure out a better way to run the generator in different conditions. Then I can update your machine, everybody's machine, everybody's efficiency go up, right? As a result, your efficiency go up, your profit go up, I will charge you even more. So I will charge a certain percentage of your profit, and then I will charge more if I can increase your profit above a certain level. This is a win-win situation. So General Electric now is doing with a big TV item. In the future, you don't sell products, you don't sell services. You simply sell a percentage, you simply work on a contract with a percentage of profit, so that your position and your customer position will be aligned. Is that new? No. Company like HP, the printer company, do the same thing. You know how printer works, right? In the early days, they sell you a printer. Then you find out printer too expensive, right? So what they do is they sell you a printer very cheap, right? And where do they make money? Cartridge, right? Ink, right? The ink become very expensive. Then people figure out this is rip-off, right? So they don't buy the original ink, they go to other company buy ink. You know what? HP now do things completely different. They sell the printer very cheap. They don't sell the ink. They simply have the cartridge in the printer. By the way, all the printers are networks, right? Very few printers are isolated, right? Printers all on network, right? They charge you per how many pages you print. This is real. They do that now. And more than that, they know exactly how much you use. They know exactly when you will need to print the cartridge next time, right? They don't need to have a huge inventory. They can completely reduce all the logistic everything. So once you are moving to that 4.0, you'll find out no way a company that's still operating in an old model can compete. No way. Because this is an order of magnitude different. You understand the point? So I'm not telling you the future. This is really how the company works now. Now, it is still a little bit tricky because you still need to figure out your profit model, how these kind of things can really align with your customer. But companies like General Electric, like HP, they're already doing them. And I really think this will have a great impact on many things we do. For example, in the future in the car, you probably don't own a car. You probably don't buy a car. You just pay how many miles you drive. You share a car. This is a shared economy, right? You share cars, right? In Germany, I know now they built a common, which has maybe one apartment, maybe have 12 units there, and underground the parking lot. And then when you buy a unit apartment, you buy a piece of the parking area, right? You also buy a percentage of the shared car. They actually have 10 cars on it. Because not everybody go out at the same time, right? You live in the same apartment when I use the same car. You'll find out this is complete different kind of, remember I talked about the revolution will lead to paradigm shift. This is the example of paradigm shift I'm talking about. You got it? Okay. I am about 50% behind. So it's really bad, but well, my time is up. I promise you I will finish this material one way or the other. So what I will do next is I will then tell you how this paradigm shift. Remember we already talked about paradigm shift, okay? So I will tell you how this different paradigm works and how we change our production, how we change our consumption, how we change our distribution, and then you will see many examples. And this has already happened. I really think people like you who are ready to enter the future market, you may be surprised that by the time you enter the industry, they are very different. They are very different than the way that my age, your father's age, are faced with, okay? So we have to really understand this future change. And if I have time, I will tell you more about the smart product, okay? The smart product is also very interesting because in the future paradigm, what we mean by smart product is very different from what we know of smart product today. And you have to really be, and so two things I will tell you, three things I will tell you, how the paradigm shift, and what is smart product in a new paradigm, and also a very important thing is, because this new paradigm is new playground, the way company organize into first tier, second tier, third tier become very different. And you will find out in the future, and the people can only focus on production, there will be the third tier company focusing on the basic features. So there's a lot of new things to talk about. Now, my lecture on this subject are intended to be non-technical because I want to give you a big picture. And next week, and you will hear more technical discussion about 4.0. And then maybe after that, if I have a chance, I will bring up more material. My hope is for you to not only see the tree, but also see the whole forest. This is the most exciting time to study this subject. And not only a lot of things happen on this ground, and the whole ground is shifting. And you need to understand those. Okay? Any questions? Any questions from Peking? Questions from Taiwan? Questions from Asia? No? Okay. Good night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Where's my phone?
我刚才说那个 cultural activity， 就上面早说有台湾的公司开始国外，那我刚才我想一想，去看一下台湾精品，台湾精品那个经济部的百他们那些有很多产品，那几家公司他们在走国际化。好，那他们的那个产品，比较好玩的，那像前几个，电视最近有播很多什么